Hello and welcome to Crimes of the Heart Tarot. I'm Miss Vicki, and I'm going to use the tarot to see if we can gain more insight into unsolved mysteries, deaths, and disappearances. I also want to thank Miss Amanda for asking me to join her wonderful Afterlife Adventures family. If you haven't watched her amazing Spirit Box sessions, you need to start now. She is truly gifted. Let's get started. Welcome, Truth Seekers. Welcome to Crimes of the Heart Tarot. I'm Miss Vicki. Today we're going to do a reading for Daniel Harold Rawling, also known as Danny Rawling or the Gainesville Ripper. The movie franchise Scream, that popular series of movies, was supposedly based on his crimes and his life. I'm going to try to not talk about too much about the graphicness of his abuse that he suffered and the crimes. I want to focus more on the fact that he said that a demon had possessed him, and also the fact that after he died, his childhood home was allegedly haunted by him. I've asked the spirit guides for clear and direct messages to the tarot cards. I've surrounded myself, the cards, and my viewers with the white light of truth and protection. If you're not into dark or mysteries or you're underage, please don't watch this video. I'll try not to be graphic, but it's a graphic story. All right, let's get started. I want to start with the Dark Mirror Oracle cards. Danny Rawling's life was very, very dark. He was abused by his father almost from birth. It was a terrible abuse. I don't want to go into too many details about it. He had a very sad and troubled life. When he was older, he was arrested a few times. His father was a 20-year veteran of the Gainesville, Florida Police Department, and I don't know what was wrong with him that he abused his son. He also abused his wife, apparently. He was really an evil man in my eyes. Let's see what these are. He did some terrible things to his son and to his wife. Okay, we have Naked Before the Stars. I Won't Cry for You. And Perchance to Dream. All right, I think Danny was naked. He was not protected. His mother couldn't protect him. No one could protect him from the abuse. And he suffered horrific abuse, mental and physical, pretty much his whole life until he was arrested. And then I Won't Cry for You. No one cried for Danny. And I want to also say that I have a white light, a white candle going for the victims and their families. I don't in any way want to excuse what he did or make them feel like I'm taking advantage of their stories. I want to get to the truth about what made him do this. Then we have Perchance to Dream. I have a theory, it's backed up by a lot of articles I've read about, that children that are abused from an early age, sometimes their psyche can fracture. Some strange things happen to them. There's a lot of accounts online all the way through history of this. The military around World War II was doing the MK Ultra experiments. If you don't know what that is, you can look that up, where they were basically, it was an illegal program, and it was supposedly later stopped. I'm not sure it was. They were doing terrible things to children and adults, giving them LSD, things like that. But I want to see what happened to Danny. I want to see if we can find out what caused him to do this. I'm more interested in that. It's not an excuse. I'm not looking for an excuse. Calling the storm, bride in a cage. I'm sure he felt like he was in a cage most of his life. Calling the storm. He claimed that he was possessed by a demon named Gemini, that possessed him and caused him to do these acts. Well, I don't know if he was possessed or what, but that's what we're going to look into. Hopefully the cards can give us some answers. I'm not really sure if they can in a situation like this, but we're going to see what we can find out. I'd like to find the energy around Danny's life, not the negative stuff. We know he was terribly abused, mentally and physically, but the energy around what's the time that he started killing. And he was finally arrested and charged November 1991 for several killings. He later confessed to 8 killings, rapes, and actually attempted to kill his father. He was sentenced to death April 20th, 1994, and he was executed October 25th, 2006. Long time he was on death row. Let's get some cards here and see what we can find out. We want to see the energy around Danny. He liked to be called Danny, so we'll call him Danny. I want to see the energy before he started doing the killings. What caused him to become possessed, as he says? What caused this demon to enter his life? I mean, we know it was abuse, but how did this happen? How does a demon enter someone's life? I don't think he was a devil worshiper. I don't think he was a Satan cultist or anything like that, but I think he called out for help in his mind. And I've heard of other cases of abused people, children mostly. Children are so defenseless, calling out for help. There's nobody that helps them. Okay, we have, this is the Ace of Wands. This is the beginning of a fiery start. It's an opportunity to do something different with your life. I think that's what he was looking for. He was looking for an escape. Why did Danny call this demon into his life, if that's what he did? There he is, having nightmares in his bed, the demon reaching out to him. This is the Four of Swords. This usually means someone that just wants to get away from life. It can mean illness. It can mean just overwhelmed, just wanting to get away, taking a rest. I'm sure that's how he felt. He tried to escape from the abuse. There was no one to help him. Then we have the King of Wands. There's the King of Wands. I guess this shows him carrying one of his victims. His victims were women. He did terrible things to them. I don't want to really talk about it. There's documentaries online, Discovery Channel, YouTube, and then the Scream movies. This is him, the King of Wands. He felt like he was the king when he did these murders. That's what I'm getting from that. But we want to know about the possession. Then we have the Eight of Wands. This is a fast-moving card, fiery. It happened suddenly. It's almost like this demon came into his life suddenly. And he has a lot of recordings. He talks about this so-called possession of this demon. It seemed like it happened suddenly, but I don't know. This is what I want to find out. How do these things happen? Then we have the Eight of Swords reversed. These are nightmares. This is someone in bed that's having terrible nightmares. This can be guilt. I don't know if he felt guilt about the murders. I don't think his father felt guilt about the abuse. I believe his father had mental problems. I mean, to torture your son and your wife and do horrific things to people. The awful thing was he was a police officer, and they thought he was a great police officer. It's amazing the things people can hide. This is reversed. This was reversed. It shows there is no way out from the nightmare. His back was against the wall. No one there to help him. This is a Five of Wands. This is arguing, chaos, several people involved in his mind. I think his mind fractured, and I have heard that that can happen, that your psyche can break. This is not my words. This is this MK Ultra program where they broke people's psyche. Very strange things happened. Some of the victims, I'm going to call them, involved manifested things. This is what I want to find out. How do they manifest a demon, or whatever you want to call it, a force? I don't even believe that a lot of these manifestations are done knowingly. It's almost like the subconscious mind does it as a protection. That's my theory. Let's see what else we have here. I know that a lot of people just say, well, he was angry and he took it out on his victims, and I'm sure he had tons of anger, but this thing about the demons, it's come up before in readings. Demons have been, demons, possessions, manifestations, even the Bible talked about it. And I'm trying to find out how these things are made. He believed it was real. Is it real? I don't know. I'm not sure. Just not sure. These cards talk a lot about Daniel, about how he felt when he was trapped. He was hopeless, feeling hopeless. But what causes this? Was he really possessed? Did he really create something? Did he manifest something in his broken mind? Did people have the power? People have the power to manifest good things. Maybe they have the power to manifest bad things. I don't know. I really don't know, but this is my quest. This is what I want to do with this reading. I don't want to find an excuse for him. I want to find the workings of manifestation. I don't know if we can with the cards. The cards can do a lot, but they can't tell you everything. I want his frame of mind. I want to know what was going on with him when he this so-called Gemini demon came into his life. Maybe we'll get more answers than just stress, or whatever you want to call it. Queen of Swords. All right, the Queen of Swords. Boy, that's a face on her, isn't it? That may be how he saw women. He had hatred toward them, and maybe he hated his mother because she didn't protect him. That could happen. This is a cold person. Truth-seeking, tells the truth right to your face, doesn't care if it hurts. There's no compassion, there's really no pity, no love. And then we see an offering. We see the start of something. Something happened to make him feel like he was possessed. What was it besides the abuse? Six of Pentacles. Well, the Six of Pentacles talks about charity, give and take. You give me this, I'll give you that. It's usually somebody giving to someone that doesn't have a lot to somebody that does have a lot. But there was no charity in his life. Nobody gave him charity, nobody gave him love. That's part of the problem. I want to see the manifestation. All right, this is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands upside down. This is manifesting something right here. This is fire. She's making something with magic. I don't believe he was into demonology. Then we have the 20 Arcana card, which is Judgment. It shows the dead souls rising up to be judged. Maybe he felt like he was judging his victims. Maybe he felt like he was judging his life. He made a decision to do this. I don't know why. I don't know. And then we have the Six of Wands. This is, wow, usually victory, but this is a very dark card. The Six of Wands, this card shows someone swooping in, grabbing the treasure and riding off on the dark horse. The treasure could have been the feeling he got from the power of murdering women. I don't know. I don't even pretend to understand how his mind worked. I want to know about the manifestation of this demon Gemini. And here we have the Four of Pentacles. Look at that little creature. That's Danny holding tight, holding tight, holding on, keeping secrets. He had a lot of secrets because he was afraid to be himself. The sad thing about him was that he always thought he let his father down. His father's deceased now. His father was, in my opinion, a monster. I think he had mental problems. Terribly cruel. Terribly cruel. Do a little bit more. We'll do some more of these. What caused this Gemini to come into life? It was a manifestation of some kind. What manifested it? Was it just the pain? Was it a broken psyche? How does that happen to people? Is it defense? Is it the mind just closing up? Wow, then we have, this is number 4 on the major arcana, the Emperor. This is protection. The demon was protecting him. The Emperor is an extremely strong person. It could have represented his father. I don't know that he saw his father that way. His father had a gun. His father was in law enforcement. His father was all powerful. And I think he manifested this demon to counteract his father. That's what I'm getting. That's what I feel. I get feelings. I get images in my mind. I want to know how demons are made. And he wasn't a devil worshiper. I know that people do that and they think they've manifested something, but he didn't consciously do this. We may not get the answer, but I want to know. I want to know what the cards have to say today. Okay. Wow, the moon. The moon is about secrets, dark, dark secrets. We may never know how this happened. I feel like I feel like the cards have told us he was a broken person. This card right here really makes me think that that's his father in his mind, this powerful person that had to be overcome somehow without consciously overcoming him. There was this poor mother, not good for much, not even really a mother in his eyes. She was a very sad person. She was abused. There's this powerful father. Let's pull a few more. See if we can see the manifestation. It's clear here that these terrible things happened to him. And I believe that he believed the demon was real. This is the Two of Pentacles. This is out of balance. He was way out of balance. I see two people here. It's almost like I don't want to say a split personality, but he became the demon and he became Danny. And I think this was how his mind coped with the abuse. It's not an excuse. He should have gotten help. I think it's just an explanation of what was going on in his head. And it's so sad that the victims were in the wrong place at the wrong time. He watched them though. He planned their murders. Then we have, wow, we have number 2 of the Arcana, the High Priestess. She's all about secrets. She knows everything. She tells nothing. You have to use your intuition. You have to use your mind to know what to do. All throughout this reading, it's your mind, it's your psyche, it's the broken down power of being a human, really. He became two people, I think. I don't know if I believe in split personalities. Some psychiatrists do, but I think it was more like a defense. Wow, and there we go again. 3 of Swords. This is someone taking advantage of another person. This is stealing, lying, cheating. I think he felt, this is how he felt in the clutches of his father. He could not escape. He was a hopeless, helpless victim. Even when he was older, he just couldn't seem to break away from wanting to do what his father wanted him to be. His father was terribly abusive. 3 of Swords. This is a stake through the heart. That's what his father did to him from a baby almost. Here we have number 5, the Hierophant. This is religion. This is Danny. I feel like he was trying not to let the demon take him over. I think he fought it. I think he tried. But I think his mind came up with this to give him relief. It's a terrible thing. I don't see much else on here except that his mind, looks like his mind split. His mind just split. Okay, I'm going to take these cards up, and I want to do a little bit more of a reading, something a little different about the fact that after he died, about a month after he died, he was executed. The woman that lived in his childhood home said it became haunted, and I don't remember if she said she thought it was him haunting it or whoever. There was some kind of ghost hunters crew that came out and did investigations and all that, and they believed that he was haunted. They did an exorcism of the house. I want to know, why would Danny go back to the place where he was so terribly abused? Why would you do that? I mean, it was home, but maybe he was afraid to go on to the white light after he was dead. I don't know. I'll do a little bit here. We may not get the answers. I think we already know that his psyche was split. He wasn't a normal person at the point that he started doing the murders. He'd manifested in his mind a demon that came over him. He couldn't live with what he had done. It was a terrible thing. He couldn't live with it, so he came up with this demon, Gemini, that was to blame, and he was terrified of it. I think he was terrified of what he was doing deep down in his heart. I think he knew it was horrible, and it's almost like he couldn't admit to himself that his father was even doing these things to him. He still tried to live up. There were tapes he made. He still apologized to his father for not living up to his high standards and being the man he wanted him to be. Very sad. I'm really sorry for the victims. They didn't deserve this either. Nobody does deserve to be murdered. All right, just a little bit more on the haunting of the house. Okay, we have the 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords is somebody being deceived. It's being taken advantage of. I don't know that I believe that he was haunting his childhood home. But this is a liar, a thief, taking advantage of somebody. Then we have, well, that's 6 of Swords, moving away from a bad situation. Why he would go back to his childhood home, maybe because his father wasn't there. He was trying to move away, maybe trying to find peace in his mind after he was dead. I don't know where he is. I don't know what he's going through. I will say one thing, though. You need to watch Amanda. Afterlife Adventures did a spirit box session with Danny, and he did come through. You need to watch that. All right, the 2 of Swords. Here we are again, having a choice, not wanting to make it. He could have gone to the light. I think he was afraid. Then we have the 8 of Cups, walking away from the light, walking away from the water. I would say that's a bowl. Looks like a bowl of flowers floating to the sun. I think eventually he did leave the house. I believe they exorcised it, if you believe in that. And then we have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups there again is being disillusioned, feeling hopeless, walking away from a bad situation to something better, but not feeling like there's anything for you. And we have the Ten of Cups in reverse. Ten of Cups is happy home, the happy life he longed for so much, never to be in his life. He knew it was not going to happen. The Star. I think that he wished that he could have had the good life, a good family, good parents. But I think he did move on to the light. I don't know what's waiting him there. He's going to have to do whatever you have to do to make up for the terrible things you did when you were living. And then we have the Six of Wands. This is victory, but it was in reverse. I think he knows what he did was not right. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but that's what I feel. Well, I don't know why the demon came. I mean, we got a lot of positive cards. The demon came into his mind. I don't know why he haunted the house. Maybe he went there in hopes of seeing the happy home he wanted. I guess we'll never know. I'd like to investigate a little bit more of these kind of situations. So I think we'll end the reading here. I'm going to close the circle. If you like this channel, please hit the like button and subscribe and put do the notification button so you'll know when I do more videos. I'm planning on doing more. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to be on. And we'll see you next time.